Is your favorite political influencer actually just a front for a foreign-backed operation? It's a question that has been whispered in the halls of Congress for years, but now, the mask might be slipping right in front of our eyes. Before we continue, if you want to stay on top of everything happening in US politics, hit that subscribe button right now and leave a like. It really helps this channel grow and keeps us focused on bringing you the stories the mainstream might ignore. For years, critics have argued that a network of far-left nonprofits including Code Pink, the Answer Coalition, and the Party for Socialism and Liberation were operating as overt political machines rather than the tax-exempt charities they claim to be. Now, we have an unexpected admission from the inside. Hasan Piker, one of the most influential voices on the far left, recently went on a 6-hour livestream to defend himself against federal scrutiny. But during a rant about the Treasury Department's recent subpoena, he did something shocking. He openly identified American Marxist tech tycoon Neville Roy Singham as the primary financier behind a lot of political movements in the United States. Think about the significance of that statement. For the first time, a leading figure within this ideological ecosystem has publicly acknowledged that these organizations aren't just engaging in charitable work, they are running political advocacy operations. Why does this matter? Because federal law places very strict limits on the amount of political activity a tax-exempt charity can conduct. If these organizations are essentially functioning as political vehicles funded by a centimillionaire based in Shanghai, they are likely in direct violation of nonprofit tax laws. The facts here are staggering. We aren't talking about spare change. A 5-part investigation by Fox News Digital previously revealed that Singham has funneled roughly $285 million into this network of nonprofits since 2017. We're talking about massive amounts of money flowing to the People's Forum, the Justice and Education Fund, and others, money that, according to investigators, helps coordinate the anti-US protests that have become a staple of the American political landscape over the last decade. Hasan Piker, however, paints a different picture. He isn't worried about foreign influence or nonprofit compliance. He's calling this a ridiculous attempt by the federal government to jam up a wealthy donor. He sees himself, and his peers, as victims of a political witch hunt. Piker even doubled down on his support for Singham, praising the man who has explicitly aligned himself with the vision of Chinese President Xi Jinping. But the federal government clearly views this differently. The Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control, or OFAC, has issued subpoenas to Piker and Code Pink co-founder Medea Benjamin regarding their recent travel to Cuba. In the world of policy, getting OFACD is no small matter. It signals that the government is looking for evidence of sanctions violations. If the trail leads back to Singham, we could be looking at one of the largest investigations into foreign-funded domestic political activity in modern history. Multiple congressional committees, including the House Oversight and Judiciary Committees, are already digging into the Singham Network. They want to know exactly how much of this money is being used to undermine U.S. interests and whether these organizations have been serving as mouthpieces for the Chinese Communist Party. Piker's admission that these groups are indeed funding political movements is the kind of soundbite that investigators will use to tighten the noose. It leaves us with a massive question about the state of our political discourse: how much of what we see in the streets is organic activism, and how much is a manufactured product of international tech money and foreign-aligned agendas. Piker claims he's being targeted for his beliefs, but the law doesn't distinguish between political ideology and potential violations of federal statutes. If you are operating a political machine, you have to follow the rules of the road. So, what do you think about this? Is Hasan Piker just a victim of political pressure, or has he accidentally exposed a massive, illegal operation to influence American politics with foreign cash? Drop your opinion in the comments below. I read every single one. This story is evolving by the hour, and the implications for both the far-left movement and our national security are profound. Stay tuned, because the evidence is mounting, and the federal response is only just beginning.